It's early morning. It's October 5th. It's about 8:30, and Michelle gave birth at, we think, around 1:22.
1:22, and so we can decipher, at least discuss what your role is in this. You are a doula.
I'm a doula.
You are not a midwife.
I'm not a midwife, and I came to support Michelle and help her cope with labor and have a super wonderful experience.
And you never actually delivered a baby before or caught a baby before.
I have not caught a baby or delivered a baby, though I've seen many be born, and I've watched lots of midwives and doctors, but I've never done it myself.
So let's discuss how this went down. Earlier today, Michelle calls you for the first time, and what happens?
So earlier today, she called me at about 2 o'clock, and she said, I'm leaking fluid, and it's kind of pink tinged in color. So I felt like it's her second baby, so that means something's probably going to happen today or tonight or early morning-ish. So we spoke periodically throughout the day. She started to have some sensations. They were about 10 or 15 minutes apart, and she could handle it. She could cope with it. And then as the evening progressed, they got stronger and stronger. But they were still about 10 minutes apart. And at one point, she said, I think you should come. So I got in the car and I started to drive from my house in Tarrytown. And then she called me back about 5 minutes later and she said, wait, Nancy said I should just drink a glass of wine and try to go to sleep. And I said, okay, I'm going home. She said, yes, go home. And we text then for a few hours.
And so what were you thinking?
I was thinking the contractions are still kind of far apart. They're about one every 10 minutes. So it didn't seem like it was, right around the corner necessarily.
And so at some point, we call you. You get a phone call saying, all right, it's time. You need to come over.
You called me. David called me.
Mm-hmm.
And said, Michelle wants you to come, and her contractions are really strong, and she doesn't want me near her when she's having one. Right? Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, that's normal procedure for us.
Okay.
She just doesn't. Yeah. She just doesn't want me near her.
Okay. She did want you near her, just not when she was having a contraction.
That's it. That's correct. All right, so you're on your way, and then what happens from your perspective?
I'm on my way. You called me again. You said the door's open. Just come in. I said, okay, fine, because Adela was asleep. It was midnight, 12:30. I pulled up. I was making a U-turn to park. You called again, and you said, come quick. And I got out of the car. I realized my headlights were still on, so I ran back. I shut the headlights off, and I ran in the house. And you said, the head is out. The head is out. And I ran upstairs, and Michelle was on her hands and knees in the bathroom. It was dark. There were candles lit. She was moaning. And she was saying, I want this baby. I went close to her, and she said, I need space. I need some space. And I said, okay. And then I knelt down behind her, and I looked closely, and the baby's head was out, about half of it, maybe right to below the eyes. And I got a towel, and I waited. And I said, David, did you call the midwife? Can you get the midwife on the phone? Because I was thinking maybe the midwife would give me some pointers or something. There was really no time for that because Michelle she pushed. She had to. And the baby's head then was fully out. She opened her eyes. And I just stayed poised. I felt like all I had to do was be there to catch the baby. I didn't want to sort of interfere with the baby because it seemed like everything was going well. So, with a few more pushes, the baby was out, and Michelle said, don't let her retreat, because she had said that before. She had been pushing and the baby went back in. And I said, she's not retreating, because she was coming out. And David was standing right there in the bathroom, near the door. And Michelle was moaning and saying, yes, I want that baby. And then out she came, and I caught her in a towel, and she cried maybe like a half a second later. And Michelle found her way to sit and lean against the bathtub and hold the baby, and this cord was still attached to the baby. Then maybe 4 or 5 minutes later, she said, the placenta's coming. And I took the baby, I held the baby, and she went on her hands and knees again, and David got a silver bowl. We put it underneath her, and she birthed the placenta. And then we moved the bowl around. You have a question?
I do have a question.
Yes.
I'm wondering on a personal note how you felt about all of this. Like, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
It was really happening so fast that I don't really think I had many thoughts. I tend to have tons of thoughts, but I don't think I had any thoughts except logistical thoughts of, is baby okay like this, in this position with the cord? Is Michelle okay? Is her placenta all the way out? And how do we make this great and healthy right now until the midwives come? But Michelle really knew what to do, like instinctually.
She was like a midwife. She was
Yeah.
like her own midwife almost,
Yeah,
right?
she was. She said the baby has some mucus. I don't know if you remember, but she sort of just suctioned the baby herself, like she just kind of sucked. I think it was out of her mouth.
That is just gross and beautiful at the same time. That's really
I was
incredible.
impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed. And she said to me, turn the baby over so that if she has any phlegm or anything, it will come out. So we were really working together.
Well, congratulations to you on your first baby catching.
Thanks.
On behalf of my family, thank you.
Yes, it was very, very special.